This is Voices from the Field with Jayden Mount and Katie Lively. We are here with Kyera Combs. She is class of 2026, catcher, third base, and outfielder, utility. From Mooresville, North Carolina. She is committed to Georgia Southern. She plays for Stars National Gleason 18U, and she is an ambassador for Morgan's Message. We recently did a story on her. She did an I Committed feature, and we also did a Morgan's Message feature on her, kind of just talking about that. So if you haven't read that, make sure to go check that out. Kyera, kind of talk us through Morgan's Message and kind of how you built like over 50 of the members in just 2 months.
Okay, so Morgan's Message is a nonprofit organization that helps stop the stigma that surrounds mental health, especially in sports. So we had a club like this at my school before, and I was in it, and I was an active member, and I loved it. But it didn't work out. So this year I got back with the teacher, and learning with Morgan's Message, I got back with the teacher, and we decided to make our own version of what was before, and use Morgan's Message to integrate it into like a better thing and how we have so many more resources now, and it's so amazing. And like today we had another meeting, and I think we had 52 people there, and it was amazing, and we got to talk about the stigma that surrounds mental health and mental health issues and how it can help people and how it affects people on the field and off the field, and kind of how like mental health can affect your play more than you would think on the field. And that's just kind of what we've been talking about recently a lot, and I think we've had a huge impact and we've helped a lot of people at our school.
That's
That's
amazing.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of going off that, like what advice would you give to like other schools or other athletes wanting to start something like this?
So for me, it was really easy to go work with Morgan's Message. So Morgan's Message actually has over 5,000 ambassadors, and it's growing like crazy every day. And so I just went on their website and kind of filled out a form, and they accepted me and sent me like a whole entire list of how to start a club, how to get with people at my school. They honestly did like all the work for me. I just had to kind of put it towards. So that was amazing, and how they got with me through that.
That's
That is
really
awesome.
cool. Yeah, awesome. Well, that's amazing that you have something that you're so passionate about and being able to spread that message through your school with athletes. It's amazing. So I really want to talk more about your career in softball and how you're kind of using that platform to do things like Morgan's Message. So take us through your softball journey. What made you start softball and when did it turn into a passion to where you wanted to pursue it collegiately?
So I've been playing softball since I was like 4 years old. I have a super athletic family. One of the main reasons is my older brother. He played baseball with at Kentucky, Rice, all these places, and he's like 9 years older than me. So when I was in second grade, seeing him do all these big places, it was like amazing. So I feel like it's never been like a question like if I was gonna play in college. It was just kind of where. And so it's always been like my favorite thing. Like I grew up going to the field with them, going to tournaments, playing there, and it's always been just a true love for me and it's brought so many opportunities, and it's just something I love to do.
I love it.
That's awesome. Yep. I
Yeah.
love the opportunity part. Sports is has so many opportunities even after when you're done with college. So kind of take us through your recruiting process. How was your recruiting journey and like what is your biggest recruiting advice for girls that are still uncommitted?
So I started going to camps, I think, way back in like sixth grade. So I started the process really early, and just kind of like getting me into the feel of going to camps early was so helpful. And like once I got to the point where it mattered more than it did per se back then, it was so much easier to just like go to these camps and perform my best. And so I've been emailing, contacting schools forever. And then when September 1st hit, it was exciting to see like get the work put back into me kind of. But I went to a Georgia Southern camp in July of this past year, and that was my first time ever visiting campus. And kind of when I stepped on campus, it was like this is my first camp. It was like, oh my gosh, this is where I need to be. Like
Oh,
the school there, the atmosphere there, it's amazing, and it's like a perfect fit for me. And that's definitely what I was looking for because my older brother Braden, when he was in school, he had some coaching issues, culture issues, and so getting to have that piece of advice always a phone call away, just like getting to learn and like that. So what I was looking for biggest in school was culture.
Yeah.
And culture was something that was so important to me. So when I walked on campus and that's all I could feel was the amazing culture of the people there, it was like, this is where I need to be. And then a piece of advice, we talk about this a lot in my club. We talked about this today actually, is a huge stressor for girls is recruiting. And if a coach is watching, it's so much harder, so much pressure to play. But honestly, I think that just playing your heart out and remembering you're playing the game you love to try to get to the places you want to go. So playing the game you love, someone will find you and you will find your right fit. I feel like so many girls try to be so hard to be a player that they're not, but at the end of the day, if you're a good player, and there's so many good players out there, if you're a good player, a coach will like you and you'll find your right fit at the end of the day.
Yes, I
That's
love
awesome.
that. Yeah, and I love that you mentioned that culture was a big thing for you. I think it's so important to have, it doesn't matter what it is, but something that's the very top of your list that you're looking for in a school. I think it can be really scary if you don't really have a bunch of priorities and what you're looking for in a school. It can be really overwhelming. But the fact that you kind of had something in mind of, okay, I really want a good culture, I think that makes the decision a little bit easier because you either have it or you don't, and you know it when you step on campus. That's really cool.
And
Um,
like how the coaches interact with the players, that was something that was
yes.
for me too. And just
Yeah.
I can see how that dynamic kind of works, and that's definitely a place that I wanted to be.
I love it.
Awesome.
That's awesome. So what do you think you're gonna bring to Georgia Southern?
Um, that's a hard one. So I think like with like the culture again, so on the field I'm a super like loud and vocal player. And I think that's just like my leadership is something I can bring. And
Yeah.
I'm really hoping to be able to make an impact as a freshman. Maybe if it's not on the field, but maybe something within the culture, within the team leadership. I think that's where I can make a big impact.
Love it. I
That's
love it.
awesome. I think it's really cool that girls coming into their freshman year like want to be a leader.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to find these days. Like a lot of people are like, oh well, the seniors are leaders. Like no, like
Yeah.
when you step on that field, like y'all are all. I mean, y'all are all the same team. So I think
Yep.
that's really cool. And you're obviously in a very competitive conference in the Sun Belt.
Yeah.
Me and Katie
Yeah.
both played in the Sun Belt.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool too. And then what are you most excited for, like going to Georgia Southern? It doesn't have to be softball related. It can be anything else.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to get there. I wish I could go now, but I'm so excited just like again like the culture and just being in a family like that. And then also another thing I'm super excited for is like you said playing in the Sun Belt. I have so many friends that are going to so many other schools. I think every conference game I'll get to see a friend, and that's something I'm super excited for too. And then also
Yes.
going down to Georgia. So I'm from North Carolina. I'm originally from Kentucky. So
Okay.
and my siblings, we live all over now since they're older. So kind of like getting to a new environment and getting to explore different places. That's something I've always wanted to do, and kind of just get away from home and kind of learn how to be my own person, and just
Love
learn
it.
how to kind of be myself on the softball field is kind of what I'm excited for.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
awesome. Yep. I like that a lot.
Go into our hot seat questions. I know we're running short on time, so we'll get through them pretty quick. So, what is your go-to pump-up song or pregame ritual to like get you in the zone for a big game?
Mm. I kind of like house music, like
Yeah.
EDM music. It's just like any kind of that stuff gets my heart rate going, and that kind of gets me pumped up for a big game.
Yeah, I love it. I love
Same.
it. If you could change one rule in softball to make it better, what would it be?
Mm. I like the banana ball rule where like if a
Okay.
fan foul ball, it's an out. I think that would be so fun.
That would be a lot of fun.
100%. I
Talk
like
about
that.
the fights that would happen though in the stands. Woo.
Because I know when I was young, baseball fields like catching the fly balls, like that was my
Yeah,
favorite too.
that's a good one. I haven't heard
That
that
is a
one
good
yet.
one. I haven't either.
I love that. What's the most embarrassing moment you've had on the softball field?
Hmm. I think one time I was at a camp, and it was like one of my first ever camps, and I was running around first base, and the turf monster caught me,
Yep.
and I fell on my face on the floor, and it was so funny. And it was my first camp ever, and the coach started laughing at me. I was so
I bet they remembered you though. That's the only thing is I bet they remembered you at that camp.
Definitely.
Making yourself memorable. What's your favorite post-game snack or meal?
Mm. I always like to get tropical smoothie after a game, especially in the
Yeah.
summer. The summer after and that's
Yes.
good. That's my go-to.
Do you get a smoothie and a sandwich or just a smoothie?
Grilled something. It's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
They
it's
have good
tropical
quesadillas
smoothies.
too.
Uh-huh. And then what's the most unexpected skill or hobby that you have outside of softball?
Oh, hmm. Hobby. Well, honestly, like Morgan's message is like my
Yeah.
hobby at
Yeah.
this, and I feel like that's not something like people would know about me if I didn't really talk about it. And that's
Yeah.
so much. I talk about it all the time. But it's just like that's my hobby. That's my favorite thing to do. I put so much time into my club. Like I had a club meeting today, and it just brings so much joy to me, and that's
I
something
love
I love.
that. That
I
is
think
really
that is
cool.
so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll ask you one more question, get you going. If you could invite three softball players to dinner for a night of conversation and advice, who would they be and what would you talk about?
I would say Jayla Wright because a couple nights ago we actually had a Zoom call with her and a couple other players with my coach, and that was so cool. I wish I could talk to her even more and get.
Yeah.
I loved her, and then definitely Jocelyn Allo. I have
Yeah.
to say that's just so cool. I met her once and she introduced herself as the home run queen, and that was so cool. I was like, oh my goodness, like she's real, she's here. I
Yeah.
would talk to her, and then probably Kinsey Hansen too.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah, she's
She's
one
got a
of a
lot of
kind for
passion.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Awesome.
Oklahoma and all the college players. It's so fun to watch them play. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
They are a lot of fun to watch.
yeah.
I love it. Awesome. Well, cool. Well, thank you. We loved hearing about your message, your affiliation with Morgan's message, and we wish you the best of luck this school ball season, this summer season, and just going into playing at Georgia Southern. We cannot wait to watch you play.
So much.
Thank
Yes, have a
you.
great
Have a
day.
good one.
Bye.